Update. Am I the a-hole for refusing to spend another dime on stepkids and grands? Original post. I, 38 female, and my husband, 50 male, have been married for 10 years and have a 1-year-old daughter together. He has a son, 30 male, and a daughter, 28 female, from a previous marriage. Since my husband and I have been together, I have always bought his children birthday presents, Christmas presents, and gifts/cards for every holiday. They have always made snide comments about me being too festive. But my love language is gift-giving. Well, they both have children now. His son has 3 children under the age of 5, and his daughter has twin 2-year-old daughters. This past Christmas, his daughter and her husband hosted our family Christmas party. During the gift exchange, each household exchanged the gifts they bought for the other households. For context, his children have never bought Christmas presents for me, which I am fine with. I have always been the one to purchase gifts for my stepchildren and step-grandchildren, while my husband gives his adult kids gift cards. So, while the gifts were being passed out, it quickly became apparent that this year, they not only didn't buy anything for me, but also didn't get anything for my 1-year-old daughter, their half-sister. So everyone at the party had gifts to open: my husband, my stepson and his wife, their 3 sons, my stepdaughter, her husband, and their twin daughters. They had all bought gifts for each other, and I had bought gifts for all of them, yet not one person bought anything for their baby sister. I gathered my things and my daughter, and we left. Afterwards, I told my husband that I had never been made to feel like part of the family, and that's one thing. But for them to exclude their own half-sister who is their blood is something completely different. I told him I will never spend a dime on his family because they are not mine. Also, they decided to do a family photo shoot and didn't include my daughter. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the updates. No more gifts. You tried, but you're done with them. After 10 years, you'd think they'd get a clue. Just curious. Were you the reason your husband broke up with his ex-wife? If so, that may be why they are so hostile. And honestly, I'd write them both a letter and explain that you have been handling gifts for your husband's family for 10 years, but will no longer be doing so after the way they treated their half-sister during the holidays. Any gift requests, etc., should be directed to your husband. And your husband is an ass for letting them get away with this BS for 10 years. Let him know that he's on his own from now on, for birthdays and holidays. You're done with him. No, he and their mother divorced when his son was 7 and daughter was 5. He and I started dating when they were 16 and 18. Not the a-hole. That even makes their behavior more appalling. Your husband never said anything to you never getting gifts from them? What was your husband's reaction to your child getting no gifts? What was his reaction to what you told him? Your husband is as much a problem, it seems. No, my husband never commented on them never getting anything for me. But he did say he was upset with how they treated the baby. However, he hasn't brought it up to his adult children. Yes, he is part of the problem. He has never set boundaries with his children, nor advocated for equal respect. No, honey, your husband is the whole problem. Is this how you want to spend the rest of your life? You and your daughter being treated like garbage by his adult children and grandchildren? Because it's coming, I guarantee it. You need to have a serious conversation with your clueless idiot husband. Not the a-hole for stopping gifts. They obviously have some feelings about you, but it's cruel to take it out on an innocent baby. But I also feel there is a lot of context behind this that might explain their indifference to you and your daughter. Yes, I have often done self-evaluation to try to understand what I may have said or done to cause their feelings toward me. I have spoken with my husband at length to see if he could shed some light. As far as I can tell, I am the one who stayed. Apparently, other women he dated would try to give ultimatums, and I just overlooked their behavior. I myself came from a broken home and know that it can have a negative effect on many children, but I would never be so disrespectful to my step-parents or siblings from second marriages. Now for the first update. Well, I had a long talk with my husband again after reading all the responses I got. His opinion is that his children have no issue with our age difference. However, they just don't consider me part of their family, and he doesn't think that they look at our daughter as their sister. which I will completely respect because they are entitled to their own opinions as well as their own feelings. With me respecting their feelings comes the fact that they are no longer part of my family. I will act accordingly as just their father's wife. As for my daughter, she is just that, my daughter. Valentine's Day has come and gone, and I did not get a thing for his children or grandchildren. I splurged on my daughter, and it felt really great. I reminded him a week before Valentine's Day that it was coming up and that his grandkids would probably be expecting something. He neither bought anything for his children nor his grandchildren, nor our daughter, and he didn't buy anything for me as well. He made a comment about feeling some type of way about the separation between me and his family, almost as though it was my own decision, and I quickly reminded him that I am just respecting the wishes of his family and that they belong to him and they are nothing to me. In short, this marriage most likely will not last for multiple reasons, not just the issues in this post. Also, I failed to leave out a key detail. He was married to another woman between his children's mother and me. According to him, that woman treated his children very, very poorly. I don't know her, so I can't speak about her. I only know what he told me. And that story is completely one-sided. He also thinks that may be the reason why his children treat me the way they do, due to past traumas from his second wife. Maybe his second wife was a lovely individual that was treated like crap from him and his children and grandchildren. Have you considered that? Not the a-hole. There isn't a world where the father didn't bring a piece of crap home and not care how it affected his family. Not a freaking chance anything else happened. This guy's a douchebag, and either wealthy enough to keep scoring women despite his personality, or really freaking good-looking but completely dead behind the eyes. OP has bad taste in men. He isn't wealthy. He and I both make upper-middle-class incomes. He presents himself as an amazing man in the beginning. Everyone who knows him speaks about what a great guy he is. I did too. About 2 years into our marriage, I began to see some red flags, but I was already in love, so I ignored them. But now that I have my own child to think about, I cannot ignore them anymore. He wants everything to be perfect, but doesn't want to put any work in to make his kids treat you decently. Although it seems like he doesn't treat you or your daughter very well either, so maybe he's just a jerk. He is actually great with our daughter. The only time he ever got upset with the way his adult children behave is when it affected our daughter. Almost like he sees no fault with his children, unless it's affecting one of his children, if that makes sense. Okay, so at best, and even this is a stretch, he is one of those good father but crappy husband kind of guys. He once said he believes he is meant to be a dad, but not a husband. Second update. After reading a lot of the comments, I realized I had been vague about the dynamics of my husband's relationship with his children and grandchildren. He is very active in their lives. He puts a lot into them, just not in the form of gifts. He pays their car insurance, phone bills, sometimes mortgage payments, etc. Anytime they call, he comes to their aid. Some of the red flags I saw in the beginning were how much he invested in his adult children, sometimes neglecting our household. For example, when I was pregnant, I had a high-risk pregnancy and was out of work for a good portion of it, only receiving short-term disability payments, which were significantly lower than my average income. The mattress we had was horrible. It hurt to sleep, especially being pregnant. I asked him if we could buy a new mattress, and he said they were really expensive, but that he would look into it. He never bought that mattress. However, his adult daughter was redecorating her guest room and called him, saying she wanted a new mattress for the guest bed, which was the same size as ours, a queen. He promptly went out and purchased her a new mattress for her guest bedroom. Now for a third update. So, I FaceTimed his second ex-wife last night. I wasn't sure if she would even want to talk with me, being that I'm the new wife. But she did, and we had a pleasant conversation. She disclosed that she and his son, who was an adolescent at the time, never had any issues, but that his daughter, also an adolescent at the time, was a bit difficult. Think princess mentality. She told me stories where my husband blatantly disregarded her feelings when it came to his daughter treating her poorly. She said his daughter always made it clear that she was the queen of her daddy's castle. She eventually separated herself from interacting with his kids, which took a toll on their marriage. She also disclosed that at the beginning of my husband's and my relationship, he was secretly sleeping with his supervisor. This led me to confront my husband, and after hours of denial, he finally admitted it. For context, last summer I caught him texting his supervisor. I told him to leave, but we had a new baby. We started going to marriage counseling for the infidelity, and he swore he had disclosed everything to me. But he never told me they had previously been sexually involved, even during the first few months of our relationship. Now, I'm supposed to believe that after 9 years, they just randomly started texting again, but that nothing else had been going on during all this time we've been married? Needless to say, I contacted a divorce attorney this morning. I'll keep you guys updated on the progress if my attorney feels like it will not have an impact on my case. Sounds like you're in the process of taking out the garbage. Good for you. I missed this the first 2 go-arounds, but I will say that not buying Christmas presents for a small child, you will be seeing at a family party where gifts are being exchanged, is really messed up. If I were invited to a Christmas dinner at a friend's house, knowing gift giving was happening, I'd probably get something for the kids involved. It doesn't matter if they're blood relatives or not. Absolutely, it's just basic kindness. Ignoring a small child during gift exchanges, especially when everyone else is getting something, is just cruel. It's not about the money, it's about making a kid feel included. OP is 100% right to be reevaluating these relationships. Wow, sad. Kudos for contacting the ex. Maybe you should the supervisor too? I am still debating on that. I don't want there to be any retaliation for him though. And my reasoning for that might make me the a-hole. But if he loses his job, that would impact the child support he will be ordered to pay. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling our roommate his kids can't come here anymore, then giving him notice when he refused? A year ago, my husband 31 male and I, 29 female, decided to let an old friend of ours, let's name him Adam, 30 male move in, as his living situation wouldn't allow his children there. All boys ages 7, 4, and 1. We have a daughter age 6, so we felt for his situation. Adam would get the whole basement with his own full-sized fridge. The top floor was ours, and the main floor was a shared common area. Adam was told that common areas were to be kept clean by all parties, and everyone was expected to clean their half of the house themselves. We asked Adam why his kids weren't welcome at his old place. He said that 2 of the 3 kids were not his. He had been with a girl for 2 years on and off, and had a baby with her. However, the people he lived with didn't like him playing daddy to the oldest when they weren't his kids. My husband and I found it very strange, but we agreed that 2 nights a week were okay with us. The first few months were fine, despite having to remind him about cleaning and the smell coming from the basement. Until one morning, I woke up and stood there in horror when I found raw eggs and shells all over the house. I screamed so loud that Adam came running. After seeing what happened, he investigated, then came back up to apologize. His excuse was that he overslept, and the oldest admitted that he went into my fridge and couldn't help himself when he saw the big 30-pack of eggs. From then on, the 2 oldest kept sneaking upstairs early in the morning while Adam slept. They broke things, stole things, ate things, and even started going to the top floor where we lived. Each time, Adam would apologize and promise to do better to keep them under control. My final straw was when I woke up to my brand new Costco pack of ice cream sandwiches, half eaten, melted, and smooshed into multiple surfaces of the house. It started with a lock on the basement door so Adam could keep the kids downstairs while he slept. Then we had to remove the lock on the bathroom door because they started locking themselves in and peeing on all surfaces of the bathroom. We put up a baby gate to keep them out of the living room because they kept stealing and breaking things, but they ripped it down twice. I ended up screwing it into the wall instead. Present day, our house is so locked down that his kids are only able to be in the basement. The smell from the basement is so strong, like sour milk and vomit, that people refuse to come here anymore. Yet Adam keeps claiming there is no smell. Adam has never used a single cleaning product, only baby wipes. The downstairs furniture is all coated in some gross sticky film. There is paint missing from the walls and some holes. When we found out I was pregnant, we decided Adam needed to leave for obvious reasons. We were planning on waiting a little, as we just wanted him to move before the baby was born, and I am only 2 months along. But then, Thursday happened. I was home alone, so I decided to take advantage of it, blasted some music, and started cleaning. An hour later, I went to throw in a load of laundry. When I grabbed the bottle of detergent, it was covered in pee. Pee was everywhere. The laundry tub was clogged with pee. It was on the floor, on the side of the washer, and now all over my hands, everywhere. I cleaned it up, put my load in, and called my husband crying. My husband was mad and messaged our group chat, saying what happened and how the 2 oldest kids couldn't come here any longer. Adam apologized and said how sorry he was that I cleaned it and that it upset me. Then he stated that those were his children, and it was unfair to say they couldn't come here, and that he was going to bring them anyway. Long story short, I snapped. I told him I put a lock on the laundry door and that he had 60 days to move out. Adam just apologized and took his notice. All our family and friends are happy we are kicking him out because the smell is so bad. Yet, some feel we were attacking the kids for being different and say that locking them out of rooms was insensitive. So I need to know, am I the a-hole? Edit. I did not expect this post to blow up like it did, and I appreciate all the comments. But I would like to address the comments about calling CPS. They had a case open for over a year, and it was recently closed. Family Services didn't care about the state of the basement, unfortunately. As I said, the kids are only here twice a week, and this happened over the span of a full year. That's roughly 104 days. Some weekends they were fine. Some weekends they yelled, talked really loud, or had screaming contests nonstop. Not a hurt or in trouble scream, literally one of those screams you do if someone asks how loud you can scream. Other weekends have been obvious hell. This whole thing has been a huge buildup, not one event after another. It's been almost 2 months with no huge out-of-pocket issues, until the laundry room incident. Now for the top comments. Definitely not the a-hole. Your roommate is an immature and negligent a-hat who should probably have CPS called on him. Yeah, letting his kids run wild like that without supervision or discipline is just irresponsible. He brought this on himself. But he's really sorry. No, he's more than sorry. He's sad. A sad excuse for a parent, let alone a grown adult. No wonder he got thrown on OP and her hubby. No wonder he wasn't allowed to be with the kids before. Not the a-hole. Those children are feral. Not your problem. You tried to help a friend, and he pissed on the hand that feeds him, then argued that you should like it. 30 days is more like it. Like literally feral. How is this even so horribly possible? It happens. I had a coworker who agreed to watch a couple of kids, ages around 4 or 5, for a couple of hours while the parents went shopping. The parents didn't come back for 3 days. Major meth binge. Meanwhile, those kids kept pooping and peeing on my friend's deck and such, because they had never been potty trained except to just go where they were. I can't even understand why a 4 and 7-year-old would do that. Can't even think of a disorder that would cause that behavior. Most of that is one thing, but the peeing confuses me. Not the a-hole, but something's wrong with the kids. Honestly, I think it's some type of defiant disorder, because he said if they can't calm them down, they will vomit. I don't know if it's forced vomit or stress-induced, but it would explain the smell.